Hey guys, and we're back. It's your boy Ocey Phillips here again, and today we're diving into what we're calling digital strategy. What is a digital strategy? Eventually, we know all businesses are going through this transformational period and they are going to end up being a digital business. So, what is a digital strategy, right? And we're going to dive into that here one time. So essentially, what I'm saying here is a digital strategy is the application of digital technologies to business models to form new differentiating business capabilities. Essentially, business model is how you create value and deliver it to customers and get paid for it. So how do you apply digital technologies to that part, separating your business model from your operational model to form differentiating business capabilities, whether it's differentiating from your consumers, from your competitors, from anybody else that would throw you off from delivering that, right? So you need to look at how you feature across the value chain of your business and the consumer facing parts. So digital technologies could be applied to how you use social media, different channels, or how you even go about using CRMs, stuff like that for self-service and checkout to increase your level of digital customer experience, right? So the evolving definition of a business strategy focuses on using technology to improve the business performance, right? And of course, you want that performance to be increased so that you could deliver more value or faster value or do something faster, better, cheaper, or more effective, automate different things so that then when you reach your end customer, they could make the buying or buying whether it's a product or service faster, more seamless, and then you could turn over more clients and make more revenue essentially, right? So digital strategy in the context of digital transformation. So we all know a lot of people talk digital transformation wildly. It grinds my gears, but sometimes I have to use it. So it drives a change in three areas. Again, I just spoke about it. Customer experience, operational processes, meaning how do you do that internally within your internal team. Processes is what you do set as a framework so that people follow it and they deliver outcome or value to add to customers. And then your business model, because some businesses operate on different business models. For instance, Amazon and they have multiple business models, some freemium, some scalable, some non-scalable, right? Some subscription, and there are different types of models. So how do you have all these things working in tandem to still deliver different layers of value to your customers is what you need to look at, right? And the process of digital transformation requires coordination across the entire company. This is not for you to go ahead and use your IT guy as a Swiss Army knife and say the guy that was checking your servers and your laptops is now in charge of digital transformation. You need to find that person who understands business, understands digital, right? Not information communication technology, not IT, different types of technologies. And then they could drive the consumer across the entire organization. You're looking at things like change management, where you have to digitize, where you have to digitalize your digital assessments. How do you break things down across your entire organization, meaning all departments are key stakeholders, and how would this digital strategy affect them or how would they play a part of it, right? And of course, it involves business culture changes because we all know that culture could eat whatever strategy you put out there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we take it from the top again. Digital transformation, which is a process a business goes through to transform into the end result, which is a digital business. So sometimes your transformation would become a part of one, a digital change, and then two, a part of transforming your business into something that it doesn't resemble what is going on now. You may need a temporary hybrid approach because you still would do some brick and mortar where you're using your brick and mortar as a what will you call it, an experience store, and then you sell certain things online through e-commerce or direct to consumer brands or business to business channels, right? How you transform your business between that and then turn into a digital business. So key areas here, customer experience, because again, digital transformation is all about transforming your business to reach customers in a different place. No longer we need that physical location in a mall or high traffic street to reach customers. You can now reach the barrier to entry for digital is a bit lower. But of course, because there's so much traffic there, there's a lot of people who are fighting for the same space, for the same attention from the same consumers. So you need to figure out how do you deliver the best customer experience. And then your operational processes. We don't want to transform anything or apply technologies to anything that makes your processes harder than they were before. Meaning, if an employee had to take 5 steps to get to deliver some value, if you add in technology or digital or software, it's supposed to cut down those steps to probably about 2 or 3, and then they deliver value of a higher perception, right? Because people buy where perceived value exceeds price, right? It should not take that employee from 5 steps to add on 2 additional steps because they had to manually input something into a different software and make the process harder internally, right? And last but not least, we spoke about the business models, how you going to generate value in different ways and deliver it to your customer and get paid for it, right? And again, the process of digital transformation requires coordination across the entire organization. And of course, it involves culture because people change, remote working, digital assessment, digital readiness. You need to look at staff, digital acumen, and different things, right? So, digital strategy in the context of digital transformation, on the other hand, focuses on technology itself and not necessarily the culture, right? So, digital strategy is most relevant to the changes in the business model and it uses technology to create the capabilities a company needs to become a digital business. So, like I said before, transformation is a process you go through and then you do that. So, if you look at that caterpillar butterfly story, there's nothing in a caterpillar that makes it look like it's going to be a butterfly. Same for your business now. Your business, how it looks now, when it goes through that transformation process, your digital business should not look like how it's looking currently, right? So, we need to focus on the technology part of it, right? And how the technology applies to your operational processes, your business model, and your customer experience, right? And the culture is something that you would deal with simultaneously as a part of your change management process. So a lot of people have been asking this question: is your digital strategy IT strategy? No. Right? Digital strategy looks for ways to use technology to transform activity and therefore business. IT strategy aims to transform technology in isolation from the rest of your business. So your IT strategy may look at frameworks and infrastructure. All right. Do you need servers? Do you need VPNs? Do you need cybersecurity? Stuff like that. Those are standalone things that would happen regardless of the type of business that you're in, right? Where there are people doing bring your own devices from home, people could access your network and enter it and place bugs and hack information and data, right? Those things need to be happening across board because it transformed that technology part of it in isolation from the rest of your business. So essentially, when a customer comes to your business, whether you're selling clothing or whether you're selling appliances, your technology infrastructure, your servers, your systems are going to be there regardless, right? But the strategy now is how you're going to implement a CRM, how you're going to implement a DCX platform, or you're going to implement Salesforce, or you're going to implement HubSpot for automated emails, you're going to implement MailChimp, Aweber, Constant Contact, any one of these things, right? To transform activity, right? That would, of course, therefore directly have a ripple effect across the business. So digital strategy instead look at the activities and processes that needs to be transformed to provide better service to customers. And I repeat this again. Digital strategy instead looks at the activities and processes that need to be transformed to provide a better service for your customers. And especially in the region, the Caribbean region, where I live, I'm in Trinidad, there's a huge misconception about customer service and customer experience. Of course, there's two different things, but essentially, you need to provide better service for your customers. Whether that is self-service checkouts, whether that is you have a knowledge base and you put frequently asked questions, or whether that is you use content marketing to guide people through the buying process, whether that is you put a chatbot that automatically talks to somebody so that 2 o'clock in the morning somebody could have their problem solved and not just when your business closes doors, right? We need to look at the best services for your customers. So you have to know your industry, know your niche, know everything about your customers, how they are, and segment these customers not just by doing a buyer persona, but segment them based on demographics and stuff and how they learn, how they consume. Because a lot of people don't understand that the reason you go into business is not the reason that people buy. So part of your market research and understanding your target audience, you need to look at why are my customers buying my solution or my product, right? And takes it back further to this framework, what is considered jobs to be done. And that jobs to be done framework is if somebody is going to buy your shoes, they don't necessarily want to buy your shoes just to buy a shoe sake. The job that they want to get done is the shoe needs to be there for them to exercise and achieve better health. And that shoe is just one part of the set of things that they have to do to now achieve that. So when you do that, you have to break back down all those questions and then ask yourself, or take a few consumers, take your top three consumers, your top five. So here's what we want to ask you a question: why you bought our product, right? And then when you do that, now you kind of figure out how could I better serve you in adding more value or give you a better experience. And then that says, here's what maybe we want augmented reality try on stuff so that we don't have to come and wash our hands every time we go into a new place, right? Some people may think, hey, it's high risk to go outside, Delta variant, different variants, and they want different try-on experiences. And that would vary across different industries. How you try on clothes is not exactly how you shop for retail. In a grocery, there's different levels of retail, different layers, consultative retail, different types. So how those things happen is how you need to ideally segment your customers, and then you provide that excellent service for that based on your niche and basically industry standards to an extent. Right? So essentially, how do you start to build a digital strategy? Again, these five questions what would help you understand how to build your digital strategy from the ground up, right? And once you ask yourself these questions, does technology change the business you should be in? And that first question should open and gateway to a lot of other questions. Meaning, if you are a brick and mortar store and you're selling clothing, shoes, paint, whatever it is, if you add technology, could you run that straight from a digital platform and have people work remotely and then you deliver direct to consumers? That may be good for clothing that people may not try on, they may know their size, but it may not be good for buying paint because you know, you have to look at the things like, hey, how this customer is going to do that? Do they going to download the app and scan their wall and they could see the color and then tie it back to your database? Or what is the problem there? The risk is, does the person have a proper camera phone? Do you get the exact color and shade? How the person would see it when it looks when the color dries versus from when it is? What colors have psychological effects? What color would you use for that color psychology for branding for different things, right? So how does technology change that for you, right? And then how could digital technology improve the way you add value to the businesses you are in? So if you're in one business, you look at, hey, could this CRM do this? Could this CRM do that? Could this do that? Right? Whether it's construction industry, no matter what industry you're in, right? How could the technology improve the way you add value? Right? So ask yourself, are we falling short on this? What do our customers want? What do they keep asking? What do our competitors do good at? Competitive analysis. So if you see they have certain things, market research will tell you, hey, these people added on one page to their website and this page has traffic. Why are people going to that page and not coming to us? Like market research at benchmarking those things. How could digital technology change your target customer? If you have a physical store in town on a strip, high traffic place in a mall. Now nobody's or hardly anybody's going to malls. How could this now change your target customer? Do I add in an e-commerce site and do I add in fulfillment delivery to people so that I can now get people or now sell to people in different parts of the country? Or could I do cross-border commerce and then I could deal with somebody like a FedEx or DHL and then I could ship across a different country? Because again, my target market, based on the products that I have, when I do product demand and product market research, and I see that here's what somebody in Barbados or Jamaica or Grenada wants this product badly, then I can now look, how do I have the most cost-effective channel to actually sell people today and make it viable, right? Does technology affect your value proposition to your target customer? So ideally, a value proposition should be what you do differently from anybody else, whether it's the experience that you have, your beliefs, your mission, your vision, all these things. How do you live that and provide that? And this is even more important when it comes to service-based businesses, because the quality of your work is really dependent on how you live those core values that you've created. A product is a product, even if you're buying it and resell it. You could have whatever mission statement, whatever vision statement. If you buy a product from Alibaba and sell it back, it is what it is. The most you may have to cover is returns and stuff like that, and then match the quality of the product that you bought based on your description, right? But if you're doing services that have a heavy manual part of it, where it really is dependent on somebody quality of work and how they come to work in a mental state that day, and if they deliver optimum work, because a human being will not deliver their best work every single day. So what is that value proposition? Are you going to give a discount? Are you going to do so and fix it for free? Are you going to What are you going to do to manage your reputation, right? Or make sure that the quality of the work that you deliver is true to your value proposition. So does technology change that? You got to ask yourself, right? And how could digital technology enhance the enterprise capabilities that differentiate you from your competition? So again, after you do that part of that market research, when you come out of that, you take that data, you mine it, and then you're building a strategy. How could you apply technology to that to enhance the capabilities that differentiate you? Key thing, even if, and I like to say that businesses don't compete with businesses, value chains compete with value chain. So here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have KFC and Royal Castle, two probably our largest retail fast food chains, right? Or fried chicken chain. Essentially sell the same thing: chicken, fries, drinks, sandwiches, yada yada. But KFC has been doing delivery for about, I would like to say, about 20 years now. Royal Castle only recently started to do delivery, I think, when the pandemic hit. And then that's a fundamental thing that Prestige Holdings has. It says, here's what we need to reach the people who can't have transport to come to reach us, even though we have more locations, right? And then they would, over time, they would realize, all right, how could this technology do that? Somebody could come and buy from us. All right, what's the technology we need? We need people with cars, we need motorbikes, we need scooters. And then if somebody doesn't have all that cash, because some people maybe home, they don't have cash, but they have links. They may not want to go somewhere to get an ATM because ATMs may not be close to where they live. But here's what we can now deliver, because the technology that is there now that differentiates us now is called a mobile links machine, a mobile machine where somebody could swipe the card using GSM technology, right? So that technology enhanced Prestige Holdings enterprise and differentiated them from Mercastle. So now, fast forward now, where they have an app where you could buy through the app, which they had to heavily incentivize to get people to download. And now it's one of the most downloaded apps in Trinidad and Tobago from the App Store, right? In especially in the category, because I mean, people download Spotify, stuff like that, Netflix, stuff like that. But from a food category standpoint, it's one of the most downloaded. Last time I think it probably had over 100,000 apps, and I think downloads. And I think that came out, I think it was last year, October. I guess it could be like a year now, if I'm not mistaken. But that technology enhance the capabilities, because what they have now done is have the ability now to get consumer data, right? They capture consumer data from signing up, because they do capture that data in store. So they drive traffic to the app, they get consumer data, and then they could retarget them with heavier campaigns and stuff like that. So almost every single day they could push a campaign where they have this deal on a Tuesday, this deal on a Wednesday, this deal on a Thursday, this deal on a Friday, right? And because technology, that application technology, and they're able to capture consumer data and retarget them and have a higher market spend or return on ad spend or return on campaign, that changes the technology that they're in. Now you can clearly see there's a difference in value chain from there and Royal Castle. Royal Castle is still figuring it out, right? So those are the kind of things that you need to look at when you're looking to build a digital strategy, right? And what should that strategy include? Of course, your people. People are your greatest assets. So in every single thing, every single part of your business, when you break it down, it always has to do people, process, technology, right? And because we're calling this a digital strategy, then the technology is not here, but it's across the board. It's supposed to be understood. So people are number one. Meaning, where do you find the people, or do you have people with cross-functional skills, and you need to do a digital assessment or digital readiness campaign to see, all right, are my staff at? Do I have a staff in accounting that did a couple courses on Google and they really understand SEO? Right. So could you now make that person a champion in terms of search and discoverability? Process. How do we do things over and over to achieve the results? So now you may need to change your processes. You may need to digitize certain things, have electronic forms routed to people automated or automatically so that people could sign off, e-signature solutions, stuff like that. Platform. What platforms are you going to use? Are you going to use Zoho, HubSpot? Which one is good for you? Are you going to ClickUp, Dubsado? Like there's 10,000 CRMs out there, Fresh Desk, all of that, and you go down the line. Or do you need Salesforce because you need boots on the ground to do things? Or do you need a custom platform designed to your solution, to your company, because you operate so differently outside of the box? Right? And then what products that you have, or what products you need to deliver what you need to deliver, or what products are you going to create based on all those other things to deliver to your client? And then do you need to now access different channels? Social media is channels, right? Digital marketing is way different. Social media channels. So what channel do you have? Do you have your own channels, or are you borrowing land from people? Meaning, are you building your business on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and these things, Twitter, and you have no control over when these platforms go down? If I'm not mistaken, Instagram has been the most down platform for the year. I think they had a crash, I think 9 times for the year, right? If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, what channels are you having, or what channels do you need to reach your existing customer, or which channels are you going to use as breadcrumbs? One for awareness, one for education, or are you going to segment your channels based on your target customer segments, right? And then the experience, where you're gonna get that digital customer experience, meaning what is the sum of the interactions people would have across all channels of your brand? Is it the same? Meaning, if somebody goes to TikTok, or they go to Twitter, or they go to Instagram, would they get the same experience, right? Even though the psychology of the platforms are different. TikTok is there to consume information into bite-sized videos or pictures, make it short, very interactive, so you could consume better. Somebody would spend years learning something, and they would consume it and break it down into a minute, and you will be able to absorb that. Twitter, you have 140 characters or 160 characters. Right? Facebook, you have longer captions. Of course, the psychology is there. Instagram is more graphic. You're going on there for the image parts of it. So, are they going to get that same experience across your channels? Right? And then your customers, where are you going to reach them? How are you going to reach them? Where, why, how, what? Right? Where are you going to reach them? Why? Because you want to sell them something or add value. How? Through different channels of media across that. Right? So these are the questions that you should look at when you're breaking down a digital strategy. Now, these are just gateway parts. Of course, when you dive deeper, you're going to have more places like this in your actual strategy document, but these are the things that you need to look at, right? And then you have to balance now. Two opposing forces to balance, which is one of the most trickiest things, right? The reason digital strategy must be agile is that it's constantly striking a balance between two very different forces, and it works to integrate your basic business principles with the swiftly changing technological universe. And I would even go as further as adding a third piece to this triangle. So your business principles. A lot of people go into business and they want to build this thing and they want to have it run for 10 years. That is not the world that we're in. So there's this thing called digital Darwinism, meaning how are consumers learning or adapting to new technologies to consume and make purchase, and the businesses and adapting to it. Essentially, somebody people would purchase through YouTube and Twitter and TikTok and different things, and then a business still there with a manual back office with people making cold calls, right? Are you adapting as a business? So your principles need to change, your strategy need to change, but then the technology changes too. Because if you really think about some of the technology that people bought 5 years ago, they may not be relevant to the world that we're in now, right? So all these things are consistently changing, and I break down everything into 90-day sprints. Anytime I'm working on a project, everything is done in 90-day sprints, because You can make a plan now, and it probably is not going to work in 90 days. Technology may be irrelevant in 90 days. Almost all the business plans that were there prior to 2019, and people will say, hey, for 5 years, we're going to do this. The hit of that pandemic changed everything, and then your whole business plan may be out the door. So, how are you going to look at it? Technology is always going to grow. So, you need to find that plateau, that platform, that framework, that foundation that says, do I sit in a good place in this technology? Could I build on this? Could I build on a database, MSSQL or something like that, and then apply my technologies on top of that, which may be good for the people who doing things like headless commerce and stuff like that? How do I separate that? Because I don't want to invest all that capex into a software or platform now that may not be relevant down the road, right? And we're going to close here. A successful digital strategy has the ability to increase your business and, if executed correctly, will move your company to be thought leaders within your designated space. So essentially, if you apply this digital strategy so good, right, it will increase your business because it will automate certain things and deliver that customer experience. And if you did correctly, people would start to speak about you as the thought leader in the space. And they would then start to compare everybody to you, whether you're in the industry or not. So you look at things like, hey, you may be in the insurance industry. And then some people would say, hey, I know we're talking about banking, I know we're talking about construction, I know we're talking about this. But have you had that experience with this insurance company? It was so seamless, smooth, everything, automation, email, this, that, and they guide me through the entire space. And then you would be the benchmark in that industry, and people will try to case study you, right? So that's it for me, guys, today. Thank you for your time. We just broke down what a digital strategy is and how you could use it in your business. It's your boy Ocey Phillips on all channels. You could find me on ocphillips.com, or you could head over to YouTube where this video would be, and you could like, share, and subscribe. Or you could also contact me via my website and book a call, book a discovery call, or book a strategy call, and I could work with your business and help you flesh out your digital strategy. All right, guys, thank you very much, and see you again sometime.